A mermaid in my hands. How did this happen? And how can I save her before it's too late?
Someone help me, please.
Deep beneath the ocean, where light barely reaches, there lived a small, beautiful mermaid named Kaya. She lived in a tranquil world, surrounded by hues of blue and green, but her heart was filled with a restless yearning to venture beyond the familiar waters. Every time she saw her older sister, Lani, freely swimming through the clear, open sea, exploring distant mysteries, Kia's desire grew stronger. Every day, Kia's mother would remind her again and again, "Kia, never swim too far from the shore. The world out there is dangerous, do you understand?" But those warnings only fueled Kia's curiosity. She wondered to herself, why can my sister swim freely while I'm always told to stay close? One day, unable to hold back her curiosity any longer, Kia quietly swam farther out. She looked around, making sure no one noticed her. Her heart pounded with excitement, mixed with a hint of fear. Just a little bit, she whispered to herself, trying to calm her racing heart. The cool water brushed against her tiny frame, and for the first time, Kia felt like a small fish, gliding freely in the vast ocean, exploring what she had never seen before. Yet deep down, Kia couldn't shake a growing worry. Had she gone too far? Would she find her way back? The thrill of excitement slowly gave way to a vague sense of unease. But now that she had come this far, Kia couldn't turn back. The waters ahead grew darker, and she felt as if something awaited her in the distance. A mysterious presence, tempting yet quietly frightening. And so, unknowingly, Kia embarked on an adventure, one that would take her to places she never expected, and where unknown secrets awaited her in the strange, unfamiliar waters. Kia kept swimming, deeper and deeper into the endless blue, until the familiar sights slowly vanished into the distance. Gone were the shimmering homes of the fish and the vibrant coral reefs she once knew. Now all around her was a strange, silent water, unnervingly still. A hint of apprehension stirred within her, yet Kia continued forward, her mind swirling with one question. What's waiting out there for me? The sea began to darken as night gently fell like a curtain, covering everything, and Kia realized just how far she had wandered from home. Darkness engulfed her, and she could no longer make out anything around her. She turned to search for the way back, but a sense of loneliness and confusion grew stronger. Kia called out, but only the cold, silent water replied. Suddenly, a powerful force pulled her into a strange whirlpool. Panic-stricken, Kia struggled, but the current was too strong, spinning her around and sweeping her along. Before she could grasp what was happening, Kia shot out of the water, only to suddenly land in a large bowl of water. Inside the sparkling water of the bowl, Kia blinked and looked up, realizing that a woman was leaning over her. The woman, collecting water from the riverbank, had no idea that a tiny mermaid was now in her bowl. Kia barely had time to catch her breath, let alone cry for help, before the woman poured the entire bowl of water into a large pot. Kia slipped into the water within, chilled to the bone as fear wrapped around her. Kia flailed, desperate to find a way out, but no one could hear her. The little mermaid was now trapped in a human's pot of water in a strange, dangerous land. Would anyone discover her presence? What could Kia possibly do to escape and find her way home? After an eerily quiet moment, Kia felt the pot of water being lifted, and then gently set down again. She opened her eyes and found herself still surrounded by water, but now in front of her was the innocent face of a human boy, Alex. Alex peered into the pot with a look of curiosity, unaware that a strange little creature was hiding inside. The boy carefully scooped some water from the pot into a small bowl. Kia tried to stay as still and quiet as possible, hoping he wouldn't notice her. But then, Alex's surprised gaze fell directly on her. In an instant, his mouth dropped open, his eyes wide with shock. What is this? Alex stammered, unable to believe his eyes. Kia gave him a gentle smile, trying to calm him down. Hello, don't be afraid. My name is Kia, and I'm a mermaid. Startled, Alex's hands flew open and the bowl fell to the ground, sending Kia tumbling down with it. Both of them were momentarily stunned, Alex stepping back, his eyes never leaving Kia, his mind racing with a mix of curiosity and fear. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. A tiny mermaid talking to him. How could this be? After a few moments, Alex's curiosity began to outweigh his fear. Slowly he knelt down, carefully picking up Kia with both hands, holding the little mermaid in his palms. You're really a mermaid? He asked, stammering, his wide eyes filled with amazement. Kia smiled warmly. Yes, that's right. And don't worry, I won't hurt you. Actually, I need some help. Alex stared at Kia, 1,000 questions racing through his mind. How on earth had a mermaid ended up in his family's pot of water? And what had brought her here in the first place? Sitting quietly in the palm of Alex's hand, Kia began to tell her story, her voice trembling with emotion. My name is Kia, and I left my home to explore the world out there. I just wanted to know what was beyond my home. But I went too far and now I can't find my way back. She paused for a moment, her eyes filled with worry. My sister is getting married soon. I have to get back before it's too late, but now I don't know what to do. Alex listened in silence, his young face showing sympathy mixed with a hint of worry. But, Kia... Alex hesitated, glancing around as if fearing someone might discover their secret. The grown-ups here, they're really afraid of mermaids. They think mermaids will kidnap children if they ever see one. Kia's eyes widened in disbelief. How can that be? That's just a silly rumour. We don't harm anyone, Kia pleaded, her voice growing more desperate. Alex, please. I just want to go home. Back to my family. Please help me. Alex looked into Kia's clear, earnest eyes, seeing the desperation and sincerity reflected in them. He knew that helping Kia wouldn't be easy, that returning her home would mean facing the fears of the adults and keeping a precious secret to protect this little mermaid. With a sigh, Alex finally offered a reassuring smile. All right, Kia. I'll do my best to help you. But we have to be very careful and keep this quiet. If anyone finds out, we could both be in big trouble. Kaya nodded softly, her heart filled with hope and gratitude. She knew she had found a true friend, and with Alex's help, she might just find her way back home, despite all the fearful rumours swirling around. Could these two, one human, one mermaid, together face the challenges and mysteries of the human world to complete this mission? Alex stood still, his eyes reflecting deep thought. He could feel Kia's urgency, but a bold idea flickered in his mind. Lowering his voice, he hesitated. Kia, if I help you get home, could you grant me a wish? Kia's bright blue eyes widened, filled with surprise and curiosity. Of course, if I can help, I promise to make your wish come true. Alex looked down at Kia, a faint but deeply important hope rising in his heart. I want to go to a land of wonders. It's my mother's dream, my family's lifelong dream. She's always wanted us to have a chance to leave this place, to find somewhere better, a place where dreams can come true. Kia gazed into Alex's eyes, understanding how big and how powerful that dream was in his young heart. She nodded, her own eyes sparkling with determination. Alex, if you help me return home safely, I promise I'll make your dream a reality. I'll help your mother and your family reach the land you've always dreamed of. Alex felt his heart beat faster, a mix of excitement and nervousness flooding him. He knew that helping a little mermaid find her way back home wouldn't be easy, but now he had a true purpose, a wish that could change his mother's life and his family's future. He smiled at Kia as if he had found unshakable faith in this tiny, brave mermaid. All right, Kia, we're going to make both our wishes come true, Alex whispered, feeling like he was stepping into an incredible adventure he had only dreamed of before. He knew the journey would be filled with challenges and mysteries, but with Kia by his side, a strong belief in magic and possibility was growing within him. Could these two young friends face the trials that awaited them, turning their dreams into reality? Where would this story take them as they ventured into a world filled with wonder? and danger. As the dim light of dawn began to rise, Alex carefully lifted a glass jar, filling it with cool water, and gently placed Kia inside. "You'll be safe here," Alex whispered, his eyes full of determination. Kia smiled, feeling the care and concern of her new friend. This would be their secret journey, where promises and trust would guide them forward. With each quiet step, Alex crept out of the house, holding the jar close to his side. He and Kia moved like shadows, heading toward the river where Kia could finally return home. But just as they approached the riverbank, a sudden voice called out from behind them. "Where are you two going? Children aren't allowed near the river." Both Alex and Kia froze. Quickly, Alex hid the jar behind his back, his eyes wide with alarm as he looked up. It was an old woman, her sharp eyes filled with suspicion. Without a second thought, Alex clutched the jar tightly, grabbed Kia's hand, and dashed away. They ran through the bushes, hearts pounding with fear of being caught. Finally, they ducked behind a large tree, holding their breath until the old woman's figure disappeared in the distance. At last, they reached the riverbank. Alex slowly unscrewed the jar's lid, releasing Kia into the flowing water. Kia beamed with joy, her eyes sparkling with relief. She took a deep breath, then began to sing, her clear voice echoing across the river. Instantly, small ripples on the water's surface began to shimmer, as if the entire river was responding to her song. From afar, shimmering figures of mermaids appeared, drawing closer, enchanted by Kia's magical melody. Kia turned, her face radiating happiness, but then her gaze fell on Alex. Was this the last time they would see each other? They looked at one another in silence, but in their eyes lay gratitude, an unspoken farewell, and the trust in the promise they had made there. The world of humans, Just as Kia reunited with the other mermaids, a group of mighty mermaid guards appeared, surrounding her. The joy on Kia's face quickly turned to worry as she noticed the cold, suspicious gaze of the mermaid commander fixed intently on Alex, the friend who had helped her escape the human world. "You captured her, didn't you?" The commander's voice rang out, filled with authority and sternness. Alex was caught off guard, unable to say a word before Kia hurriedly interjected. "No, that's not true. Alex didn't capture me. He only wanted to help me get home, to bring me back to my family." But the commander remained unmoved, his eyes filled with deep distrust. "Humans and mermaids cannot trust each other," he said coldly, and then slowly pulled out a dark, ominous vial, sending a chill of fear through Kia. "This is the price for those who invade our territory," he said, his stern gaze directed at Alex. "No, please don't hurt him," Kia cried, rushing forward, but it was already too late. The dark liquid poured slowly over Alex, drop by drop. In an instant, Alex began to fade, his body dissolving into a clear, pure stream of water that merged into the river. The same river he had hoped would return Kia home. Kia stood motionless, tears welling in her eyes as she watched the river carry away the image of her only friend, the one who had faced every fear just to help her. Pain and regret gripped Kia's small heart, making it ache. She wanted to scream, to dive into the river to save Alex, but it was all over. Alex was gone, becoming one with the river. A quiet wave passed by, carrying silence and sorrow along with it. Kia gazed into the distance, wondering if there was anything she could do to repay the friend who had sacrificed so much for her. And if any magic could bring Alex back from the stillness of the river. Kia rushed home, her heart filled with regret and pain. The moment she arrived, she didn't waste a second and ran to find her parents. When she saw her father, she told him the whole story, her eyes brimming with tears, her face marked by desperation. She begged her father to help Alex, the boy who had bravely saved her, only to suffer a cruel fate at the hands of the mermaid commander. Kia's father remained silent, his gaze cold and thoughtful. At first, he didn't want to interfere, as the presence of humans in the mermaid world had always been forbidden. But as he looked into the pleading, sorrowful eyes of his daughter, he realized that Alex was not just a friend, but a hero who had ensured Kia's safe return home. In the end, his heart softened, and he decided to go meet the mermaid commander to plead for Alex's restoration. On their way to confront the commander, Kia clutched a vial of magic water tightly in her hand, a special water she had secretly kept for a long time, capable of reversing curses. Kia knew the commander wouldn't easily yield, and she was prepared to do anything to save Alex. Standing before the mermaid commander, Kia bravely held his cold gaze, raising the vial high, her hands trembling but her voice firm. "If you don't save Alex and restore his form, I will use this water right now, not only to save my friend, but to prevent you from harming anyone innocent." The commander looked at Kia, surprise and hesitation flickering in his eyes. At last, faced with her resolve and courage, he nodded in agreement. Muttering a series of mysterious incantations, he conjured a pale blue light that enveloped Alex. Gradually, the clear stream of water that Alex had become started to shift, reshaping itself into his familiar human form. Alex was back, whole and unharmed. Kia sighed in relief, her heart brimming with joy and gratitude. She knew that thanks to her bravery and determination, she had saved her precious friend. More than that, she had proven that kindness could break down any barrier, even between two vastly different worlds. After Alex was brought back to life, Kia looked at him with eyes full of gratitude and joy. But in her heart, she felt it wasn't enough. She wanted her brave friend to receive a worthy reward for his kindness and sacrifice. Kia approached her father and pleaded, "Father, Alex helped me through so many challenges and faced danger without hesitation so that I could return. Please grant him treasures from the ocean as a token of our thanks." Kia's father pondered, his gaze filled with understanding and respect as he looked at Alex. Finally, he nodded and ordered the mermaids to bring the most precious treasures from the depths of the ocean. Pearls that shimmered like moonlight, jewels of all radiant colours, and gold that glowed as brightly as the sun over the sea. All these gifts were presented to Alex, symbols of the Mermaid Kingdom's gratitude. Alex held the treasures in his hands, unable to hide his joy and emotion. He looked at Kia, his eyes shining, a bright smile on his face. "Kia, thank you so much for keeping your promise. I never imagined I'd receive such wondrous things." Kia smiled and nodded. In that moment, they both understood that this wasn't just a gesture of thanks. It was an acknowledgement of a friendship that had overcome every barrier between their two worlds. Alex held Kia's hand tightly, his voice filled with emotion. "We've shared so many unforgettable moments, Kia. I'll never forget you or this incredible adventure." They looked at each other, each feeling a hint of sadness at the thought of saying goodbye, but also filled with joy, knowing this journey had changed them both forever. And then, Alex turned and walked away, carrying the precious treasures and the unforgettable memory of a little mermaid who had given him the greatest story of his life. Would fate bring them together again? Only time would tell, but that friendship would surely live on in their hearts, like the shining pearls deep within the ocean. Kia and Alex stood by the river, their eyes meeting in a final, emotional gaze. Both of them knew that this was the moment of farewell, yet it was also the moment their friendship became eternal. Alex held tightly onto the precious treasures from the depths of the ocean, but for him, the greatest treasure was the little mermaid who had changed his life. Kia waved, tears glistening in her eyes, tears of happiness and gratitude. In their hearts, Kia and Alex understood that this adventure was more than just a journey through danger. It was a story of courage, kindness, and belief in the magic of life. Alex's kindness and bravery had helped him conquer his fears, while Kia had learned that friends willing to help can be found, even between two completely different worlds. The story of Kia and Alex is not just a legend, it is a reminder to all of us. Miracles exist in life if we open our hearts and help each other. In a world where we sometimes feel lonely or lost, friendship and kindness are the guiding lights. If you feel inspired by Kia and Alex's story, don't forget to follow our channel so you won't miss more wonderful stories. Join us as we continue to explore meaningful lessons from magical, mysterious, and heartfelt tales.